Hello, I'm Helen Beal. You are watching the Cloud Therapist channel.
Hello and welcome to the Cloud Therapist Shorts. I'm Richard Simon. In this talk, we are going to focus on the top 5 tips for doing value stream management. I have the massive pleasure of welcoming back Helen Beal to the channel. Helen is the CEO of the Value Stream Management Consortium and an all-round lovely person. Hello, Helen. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm really well. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be here and for the wonderful introduction as well.
Fantastic. Well, it's lovely to have you back. So, Helen, let's dive straight into your top 5 and we can start with the first tip.
So my first tip for implementing value stream management would be to think of your organization as a value stream network. So no value stream lives alone. No value stream is an island. So your organization will be made up of many of them. When you try and map a value stream, you'll probably start discovering the dependencies and the crossovers. So there's still a lot of value in understanding what the primary value stream is that you belong to and doing the work to see where the waste and the problems are in that value stream and optimizing it and understanding more about your customer and their experience and how you're delivering what value to them. But it's also really important to understand that the organization is made up of multiple streams, particularly if you're a leader, a manager or a CEO, because you really want to understand the portfolios across your organization, and your value streams will give you lots of clues as to what's going on and what's working where, and where you might have problems that are common to multiple teams in your organization.
Fantastic. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's really important to, I think, as we've probably said before, to kind of be able to identify all of those, at the sort of the onset of kind of kicking things off when you start doing your value stream management stuff. Okay, and that's kind of a sort of a discovery thing, I guess. Okay, so what's your second tip?
Tip number 2 for implementing value stream management would be to use value stream management to connect product management with software engineering. So my background is DevOps. I like to describe DevOps as the ability to teach IT operations how to do Agile. So it started with Agile software development and IT operations got left behind. So that was a huge movement. It still is a huge movement, but a lot of people still haven't optimized it, or it's not, it's mainstream, but not everyone's superb at it yet. But it's very much about the technology teams. And what we discovered in later years in DevOps is that technology is, of course, part of an overall organization. We have this horrible term, the business, which I often kind of put in quote marks, the business, which by which we mean the rest of the organization. But increasingly, because of digitization, the technology teams are actually much more strategic enablers. So it's very dangerous to think of DevOps as a standalone thing, or the technology teams as standalone. So you can use value stream management to understand where your ideas starts, your customer needs start, which is normally somewhere in product management, and then follow that the whole way through the value stream until your customer receives it. So it really helps in making those connections across the entire business. So limiting that separation between business and technology.
And do you see a lot of that sort of disconnect? Is that always kind of there and you kind of have to sort of take
huge? It's been for years, in the DevOps Foundation course from DevOps Institute that I'm also very closely associated with, we talk about how we moved from aligning IT in the business to integrating IT in the business. And we talk about how now IT is the business, by which we mean that the geek has inherited the earth, and digitization means, everything we do with our technology differentiates our organization, which is why we have Domino's Pizza and, lots of different airlines saying they're technology companies or software companies. And things like that. But yeah, we're still not very good at it, at connecting those dots.
Sure, excellent. Okay, so what's your third tip?
Tip number 3 for implementing value stream management would be to use your data and artificial intelligence to gain continuous insights. And you can do this across your whole organization as well as each individual team. So I've mentioned DevOps. If you've got a DevOps tool chain, you have an amazing source of data telling you what's happening across your whole, hopefully from your portfolio management and product backlog, all through your continuous integration, continuous delivery, release, and then into monitoring the observability, giving you the feedback loop. So all around what I like to describe as your value cycle. So making it a little bit more circular, a little bit less linear. So you can use all of that to find the things that we want to find in value stream management. So the delays, the waste, the handovers, the rework, all of those things that are interrupting the flow of value to your customers. And then, of course, there's the value realization element. We'll come back to that in a minute as well. And I say continuous insights because this is important, because in value stream mapping, we gain a lot of these insights through the hard work of visual collaboration. This is a shortcut, an automated shortcut that we've built incidentally by building DevOps tool chains that allows us to get those insights from the data that we have. So the lift from a cognitive or human perspective is very, very low. It's all there. You just need to make it visible.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's move on to your fourth tip. What is the fourth tip, please?
Tip number 4 for implementing value stream management is to follow the Value Stream Management Consortium's VSM implementation roadmap to understand how to roll out value stream management in your team and across your organization. So it takes you from start where you are through to assessing where you currently, where your current capabilities lie, to identifying your value streams, mapping them, connecting them, inspecting and adapting them, and continuously gaining those insights.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I think we said in the previous talk that you and I had about the VSM report. I'm a kind of very much a visual person, so I really appreciated that sort of map. I think that's kind of spells it out and kind of shows it to you in a visual way, which is and
great. I think the other thing that it does, which was part of its original intention, is explains where mapping sits. So value stream mapping for a lot of people is their entry point into value stream management, and value stream mapping does predate management by quite some time, by decades. But management is an overall discipline that instills value stream thinking into everybody in an organization to continuously improve effectively, not just the flow of work, but also the experience of a customer.
Yeah, and as you said before, it's not just about the actual sort of process that you're trying to look at the value of that, but the kind of the peripheries of handovers and things like that, where you kind of come to a natural end at one point of the process and you hand over maybe to another team or a department or something like that. I think that's all of that's affected as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Okay, so what's your fifth and final tip?
Fifth and final tip for implementing value stream management would be to balance your flow acceleration activities with customer experience and value realization focus. By which I mean, it's not just how fast you go, it's what you're delivering. So as well as getting those, smoothing those handoffs, maybe even getting rid of handoffs and dependencies where possible, right. Eliminating delays, eliminating waste. So eliminating things like rework and overwork and that kind of stuff. It's also about making sure that your customers are getting the things that they really want as quickly as possible, or when they want them, when they become appropriate for them.
Excellent. Okay, well, I think those are fantastic tips. I'm sure everybody's going to really find those useful. So I appreciate you giving those tips out, Helen. That's really very useful. Yeah, we'll try and provide some links in the description of the video to kind of Helen, the Value Stream Consortium, also the link to our previous conversation as well, which is quite useful. I think I'll include that in the description as well. I want to thank Helen again for your time. I think it's been very useful. Thank you guys for watching. Take care and bye for now.
Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to support the channel. Bye for now. So do you want me to do that again? Because I didn't see the bye for now for a minute.
Let's do that again.